Hi guys, so I realised today that it's been a while since I've done a net worth update. So I thought I would take you through the net worth update, the Poland house build progress, the funds and how it's all going, etc. Without further ado, let's jump straight in and we'll do the net worth first. And as you can see on the house build, I've got what's left to pay and what I've paid already. So in terms of what I've paid already, I've paid £32,700. That's for everything up to now. And then in terms of what's left out of the needed amount is another £69,800. Now of this, I have about £68,000, which is 97%, which is pretty awesome. I'm only missing about £1,700 to get to 100% of this goal. Now, I've mentioned this before, but in case you're new here and you haven't seen the previous updates, this includes money in my company account, which isn't as easily accessible to me as obviously my own cash savings, which this also includes. So not as simple as it seems, but at the end of the day, I do have the cash there in one way or another. In terms of emergency fund, this has gone down a lot. I've had a few things I've had to pay for, but I'm aiming for about £3,300 in an emergency fund. I currently have £22, so not really progressing on that one. But obviously everything is going to the actual house build. Now investments have gone down so much. As you know, I've mentioned before, I've sold about £5,000 of my investments. So it's basically gone from about 25k to about 19k, 5k of which is what I sold. And the remainder is the current sort of downwards trend of the stock market. So still about 19% of the way there in terms of my goal of £100,000 invested. Now the land I obviously have here just 10k. Because this is goals progress, I haven't updated this. But actually the land has gone up in value quite substantially, or at least in Polish money, quite substantially, but in English money about £3,000. So in terms of my net worth, that's how we're going to look at it. So if we go to the net worth now, you can see here cash, I've got £68,000 in cash. Again, that's both personal and my company cash accounts. So that equals about 370,000 zloty. The land, like I said, 13k now, which is about 70,000 zloty. Now, I've included what I've spent on the house because obviously in theory, I could sell. So it kind of comes into my net worth. So £32,700, which is about 178,000 zloty that I've spent so far. My investments, 18,900, which is about 100,000 zloty. And then my retirement account, which people were previously asking me to include in these updates. The reason I wasn't was because I've only recently joined my pension schemes, but I've got about £7,189 in there, which is just under 40,000 zloty. So all in all, you've got the net worth as £140,000, which is in Polish money insane because it's 760,000 zloty, which is not too shabby. I am looking forward to the day that I can say that I'm a millionaire in Polish money soon. So in terms of total goals progress, we're looking at about 60% of the way there, which is pretty awesome. It's been a long time coming, so I'm just really happy not to be in negative net worth. Okay, so in terms of the house build update, the last update I did for you guys, I mentioned the problems with the water supply and the fact I wasn't sure how that was going to affect the build because of not being able to put in the plumbing and everything else. Now, a few of you suggested that there may be ways of testing the plumbing before the water is connected so that I can get the plumbing done and then put the cement on and just carry on with all the building stuff without having to wait for the water to be plugged in. Is it plugged in? You know what I mean. Which is great news. We'll see how it actually pans out when it happens. But that has perked me up a little bit. Now, in terms of the actual progress, they have poured out the cement now. So we've reached what's called in Poland, I don't really know whether the building like terminology is similar in England, but it's called like stage 0 here, which basically means like the whole foundations are done, finished, they've poured cement over it. Obviously you've got like the plumbing that comes out of the house under there. So they put out the pipes and then they've poured cement over it. So that's been sort of cooling and drying out, although because of the weather in Poland, it's been drying out a bit too quickly. So actually, fun fact, you have to water cement if it's too hot, initially, not forever. So basically, for about 5 days or so, every hour and a half, we had to go and literally water the cement, which was hilarious. And now they've come and got all the bricks ready. So they've put that on top of the foundations. And now when they're ready, they're going to start essentially building the walls. It is going to be a few weeks. They need to finish another build first, which is fine. We're still ahead of schedule. We weren't meant to start till July. And I'm going to get fencing mid-June, which I'm so excited for. I never thought I'd be so excited for fencing. Fencing was meant to be last on the list because every sane person, when they build a house, they do the fencing last. But because I have a dog now, I really want to do the fencing so he can run around. And yeah, so that's happening mid-June. I'm pretty sure that's everything I wanted to go through. If there's any other questions or anything that I've missed that you want me to cover or ask, just post it in the comments below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.